and welcome to episode 3 of the Rediscovering Me series on the Tifftown Inspiration Station. This week's topic is entitled Forgiving Me, Accepting My Mistakes. Mistakes are a part of life that nobody can escape. Some of them are big, some of them are small, but all of them come with a lesson. That's why I feel like it's so important to present your real self to the world. John 8:7 says, "Let he without sin cast the first stone." Is that you? I interpret that scripture to mean that nobody's perfect. But I feel like we try to present our best selves to the world to keep from being judged. But when we do that, we are giving the people that look up to us a false sense of reality. They're left to figure it out on their own. And if they've never seen us fail, imagine how they feel when they experience failure for the first time. I mean, do you remember the first time you experienced failure? Do you remember what that felt like? I do. I felt lonely. I felt like an outcast. I felt like there was something wrong with me. But it's those moments that we need to release and redefine. And having somebody there that has been through it, that can relate, and that understands what you're experiencing can help lift the burden of loneliness and steer you away from those feelings of failure. And you can be that person. I feel like we should own our mistakes and use them as a way to elevate. And that way, when we own our mistakes, nobody can use it against us. And changing our perspective on the mistake helps us embrace the lesson and not the label. Our mistakes make our story. And our story makes us who we are, the good and the bad. And the bad are the most important because they force us to move out of our comfort zone. I personally think that life is like a repetitive cycle of experiences with a consistent foundation filled with different me. I mean that there will always be somebody that follows behind you with a similar story that you can help. Life brings us those people with similarities so that we can break the cycle and help them the way that we would have wanted to be helped. We will always be afraid to fall if we don't experience what it feels like. But when you see that you're able to survive that fall, you'll no longer fear it. Instead, you'll know how to prevent it, and you'll know what to do to prepare for it from happening the same way that it did before. Mistakes make us stronger and wiser. So why should we beat ourselves up for learning how to live? We have to not only be willing to forgive ourselves, but we have to be willing to learn, grow, and teach, and be an example for the people who need us. Teach them a better way of how to deal with the cards that life has dealt them. Let's continue this journey next week with episode 4 entitled Make It Work, Creating Self-Discipline. Thank you guys so much for watching the Tifftown Inspiration Station. I pray that you were inspired, uplifted, and fulfilled through today's message. Stay tuned for the Tifftown Boogie Down. Peace. So for the Boogie Down today, we're going to spotlight my talented, self-taught music producing brother. I hope you like it.